Hello, my name's Tom LaForce, and I'm on a quest to promote more asynchronous collaboration. Async, for short, means not expecting an immediate response. Instead, I share a question or comment, and my collaborators respond later. There's a benefit in doing more async collaboration, and that's why I made this short video. I want to put this idea into your head so that you can try to get others in your organization interested in giving it a try. Let's explore. It's easy to think that collaboration means having a meeting, but it's not the only way to collaborate. Meetings are a form of synchronous communication. In other words, they happen in real time. This sort of communication has its place, and it's certainly embedded into most workplace cultures. They can happen in real time in person or virtually when team members are in different locations. While virtual feels different, it shares one important characteristic with in-person meetings. Check out this table. The two factors we're interested in are location and time. For a traditional in-person meeting, everyone's in the same place, interacting in real time. For virtual meetings, time is still the same for everyone, but now locations vary from person to person. An asynchronous meeting allows people to collaborate anytime and anywhere, creating maximum flexibility. I'll get to the what and the how, but the most important question to answer right now is why? As much as people complain about meetings, you're going to run into major resistance. So you may as well have some good reasons for why they might want to give async a try. Synchronous collaboration slows down your process, especially in busy organizations in which people have the calendars heavily booked far into the future. If you want a meeting, you may need weeks before you can get it on the schedule. If you go async, you may get what you need in just a few days. This is a way to get faster results. Real-time collaboration depends on quick thinking and immediate responses. Async collaboration gives people time to think. Being able to reflect on the problem a bit often yields much better input. As a bonus, people can, if they choose, respond to your request when they are most interested in it. Within time limits, of course. That often helps the quality go up. Another reason is to reduce wasted time. Think about a meeting in which you're asked for your ideas or some sort of short report. You spend a couple minutes making your contribution, and then you spend the rest of the time in the meeting sort of waiting for it to end. Wouldn't it be nice if your 5 minutes of contribution was all the time required for you to make it? In an async world, you don't need to sit through the rest of the meeting. You contribute and then you move on. If working from home continues to grow and it becomes the new norm, people are more likely to scatter to all corners of the earth. And then we've got time zone problems. When are you going to meet? Even the 3-hour difference in the US causes problems. But when you have people in Europe, Africa, or Asia, the perfect meeting time is almost impossible to find. So I've given you about 4 reasons why you might want to go to async. Hopefully with a little luck, one of these reasons will convince skeptics to give it a try. So when does async make sense? You can start by looking at what normally happens in a meeting and asking, can we accomplish the same thing in another way? Which of these common meeting activities would work in an async format? Idea generation? Absolutely. Analysis and evaluation. You ask the right questions and put some careful probing into the discussion, sure thing. Problem solving and planning. This, this is the hardest one, but again, you put some thought into the tools and the process and you can make it work. What about decision making? Sure, voting tools that you normally use in person or some of the polling tools that are out there work great to narrow the choices. You use some more online discussion to give everyone a say until a consensus emerges, or if it doesn't, a decision maker steps in and makes the final decision. What about information exchange? That one's easy peasy. Of course you can do that. Just think about how many meetings are about announcements, updates, general feedback, or open discussion. Any of these would work. Try it async and see how it goes. And now for the what. Async collaboration is typically written communication using some sort of team communication tool that happens over a predefined time. Sure, you could use email, but does anyone really want to use more emails? You use the tools that are designed for this purpose. You probably already are using some of them in your organization. Obviously, Microsoft Teams and Slack are the two big names out there, but there are many, many tools. Even some with another focus, such as problem management. These tools a lot of times also have collaboration features built right into them. Most tools have a free trial, so give them a test run. If you do it right, people spend less time in your meeting, even when the active meeting is spread out over several days. They don't get interrupted as often, always having to run off to join in on the next meeting. This allows them to stay focused on the projects that need their full concentration. So how do you do it right? Well, it starts by setting up a workable system. You've got to figure out which tool people are going to use for what specific goal. It means they should know when it's still appropriate to call a real-time meeting too. The discussion forums usually need some sort of structure and they need to be organized in a way that's useful and makes sense to people. While async means I don't expect a response right now, I still need it in a certain amount of time. Your team needs to figure out the rules about how much time they have. And the most important expectation to establish is that of participation. People need to know that what's going on in the async world is important work. And when they are invited to jump in, they should. You've got to provide leadership just like you would to an in-person meeting. A facilitator can launch questions and set up activities and manage the process. A leader can decide who needs to be involved and invite those people to participate. A decision maker can determine when the discussion has gone on long enough and make the necessary decision. Finally, it's important to build the right skills necessary so people can succeed in this new environment. The tools are usually fairly simple, but not always and not for everyone. People need to be taught the functions, the discussion structure, and any ground rules for the collaboration process. Async collaboration relies heavily on written communication. People may need to improve their ability to write clearly, concisely, and persuasively. Finally, and maybe unfortunately, thanks to the bad habits we've all learned in Facebook discussions, Twitter wars, and participation in news site commenting sections, you may need to help people understand how to be respectful when making their points. I don't see many organizations doing this well, especially the big ones. That's why I need people like you willing to join with me on this quest to go async. Here's what you might do to get started in your organization. Raise the idea with people. This might be as simple as asking someone who's about to schedule a meeting, have you considered accomplishing your goals without having a meeting? Look for a team that is willing to give it a try and offer to help. Act as their coach in setting up their systems and their tools. Provide the training they need. Be there to cheer them along. You can then leverage their success to spread to the next team. I'm happy to help in any way I can. I can offer advice, or I can roll up my sleeves and assist in the change management activities that must happen to bring this to your organization. So if you need the help or you'd like the help, reach out anytime.